And Jay goes, let's get it straight. Nobody's afraid of 50 Cent. Let's be
put
clear.
it out there.
Nobody's afraid of 50 Cent.
Jimmy Iovine might not have cared about beating Kanye, but Jay-Z, who was the head of Def Jam at the time, damn sure cared about beating me.
Because if we looked at all of the numbers, you see I did his career in 4 years.
In the cutthroat world of the music industry, even the closest friendships can be torn apart by jealousy and greed. And it seems like that's exactly what happened between two of hip-hop's biggest names, Jay-Z and 50 Cent. In a stunning revelation, 50 Cent has come forward to reveal how Jay-Z used his cunning ways to turn Kanye West against him, leading to a bitter feud that lasted for years. As fans of both artists reel from this shocking revelation, the question on everyone's mind is, how did Jay-Z pull it off, and what was his endgame? Stay tuned to find out. 50 Cent and Jay-Z have been a bit of a feud for quite a while, and it seemed that both of them saw the other as an incompetent rapper. 50 Cent was very open about his opinion regarding Jay-Z.
Rather be overrated than underpaid.
Very good. Thank you very much.
He thinks Jay-Z is overrated. Jay-Z, on the other hand, didn't think 50 Cent was a good rapper either. In one of his songs, he dissed 50 Cent with these iconic lines.
Go against chicken ass bitch. I'm about $1. What the is 50 cents? Go to one.
This was the time of Hot 97's annual Summer Jam Festival, and Jay-Z and 50 Cent got to meet before Jay-Z spoke these lines. 50 Cent recalls this incident in an interview. I ran into Jay at Summer Jam and he said, "Yo, I don't like that record you got. I love that record you got." I didn't know he meant right then. He'd go on stage. That's the first time I ever seen 30,000 people. He said, "I'm about $1. Who the F is 50 Cent?" I didn't even know 30,000 people who knew 50 Cent was. I should send him a bottle of champagne for that. That comment must have stung a lot, but 50 Cent took it with stride. After all, it was a huge achievement at that time to make such a big wave in hip-hop that even established and big-name artists like Jay-Z were dissing 50 Cent. That was his plan to be noticed after all. Regardless of how unbothered Jay-Z tried to act, it was clear that he knew 50 Cent was going to be huge. He even advised all his friends to release music before 50 got a chance to come back. He said, "I remember one time working in the studio and it was like a small gap in Memphis, Bleak Beans, Beanie Siegel, everybody was in there. And I was like, I'm telling you, man, y'all got a chance right now. Just flood it. Put out a lot of music because 50 Cent is coming, and 4 months later, In the Club hit, and it was over," Jay said in a 2013 interview with The Breakfast Club. It was just like, okay, now everybody got to sit on the sidelines and wait this tidal wave out. 50 Cent took the whole hip-hop world by storm when he first started, and he did it in his own sneaky little way. He dissed all the big names in the industry right, left, and center. And when they responded, 50 Cent became relevant overnight. This was the blueprint the next generation of rappers would attempt to mimic. He had quite a way to rile up other rappers, like when he jumped on the stage with all the rappers he had dissed, including Jay-Z and Kanye.
We got, hey.
You can get down, nigga. You can get down. It's all good.
This a real special moment, ain't it?
Jay-Z could do nothing as 50 Cent ran around in circles while he and Kanye performed. This was a classic moment in hip-hop, and it really solidified the rivalry between Jay-Z and 50 Cent. Afterwards, Jay-Z kept insisting he was only competitive with 50 Cent and not actually feuding. In one interview, he said, "We're not enemies, we're just competing." At one point, Jay-Z must have realized that he had 8 years of working in the industry under his belt, and 50 Cent had just started, so it wasn't wise to be beefing with him directly. So he cleverly turned one of the biggest rappers of the time against him. Jay-Z was the president of Def Jam at the time, and Kanye was signed with Def Jam. To get them both to compete directly, Jay-Z decided Kanye would release his music the same day that 50 Cent would release his. This was a sure way to rile up Kanye against 50 Cent and make them rivals. After all, the most definitive way to figure out which artist is more famous is to see how many albums they sell. And if two competitors decide to release music on the same day, it's like they're betting to see who wins. 50 Cent took up the challenge. He also talked about in an interview saying, "If Kanye West sells more records than 50 Cent on September 11th, I'll no longer write music. I'll write music and work with my other artists, but I won't put out any more solo albums." Well, Kanye was pretty confident in himself and didn't consider 50 Cent to be on par with him. When he asked about 50 Cent's comment, he responded rather coyly.
50 Cent has been quoted as saying that if your album should outsell his, he will never make another album ever again. Have you heard me?
I really like 50. I don't want him to retire once my album sells the most.
For all we know, West's graduation won with a staggering 957,000 units sold, while 50 Cent topped out at 691,000 units. The effects of this epic matchup, however, have reverberated to this day. The result of Jay-Z's move might have pitted Kanye and 50 Cent against each other, but his trick to defeat 50 Cent was indeed a success. Kanye rose as not just a winner in this little feud, but also the rapper to be taken more seriously. This put an end to this debate for some time, but did it make Jay-Z look any better in the eyes of the people? Probably not. After all, he had used Kanye to settle his own score. Not only that, 50 Cent also spoke in his book about his rivalry with Jay-Z that ultimately led to his rivalry with Kanye as well. He wrote, "Jay had been extremely uncomfortable with my run-in New York City for years, so he did everything under the sun to make sure he could beat me through Kanye. I realized what I was up against in the weeks leading up to the release when Kanye and I both agreed to do joint appearances on BET. I had planned to bring Eminem with me, but BET told Interscope we couldn't have guests. Interscope said fine and told Eminem not to come. Then the day of the show, I get there and Jay-Z is performing with Kanye. So clearly Jay-Z had gone to some length to get around the no guests rule, whereas Interscope Records had just let it go. They simply weren't as motivated as Jay-Z. Even today, 50 Cent considers Jay-Z a better businessman than a rapper. When he was asked to describe rappers in 2 words, he said words like the best, talent, etc. But when asked about Jay-Z, he didn't even recognize his music career.
Jay-Z. Good business.
This was quite an insult to Jay-Z, who has had a much longer music career than 50 Cent. To not even consider his worth mentioning music career is definitely a roast that Jay-Z won't ever forget. It seems like 50 Cent takes his rivalry with Jay-Z very seriously. At the same time, 50 Cent knows it was actually Jay-Z who turned Kanye West against him, so he still keeps Kanye in high regard. 50 Cent and Kanye have always been praised for their maturity, even when they were beefing with each other. It's natural for artists of the same time to be in a state of constant competition with each other, but Kanye and 50 Cent always know how to keep it civil. They can roast each other while staying respectful, like when 50 Cent roasted Kanye here.
He brought his big brother with him, and his big brother ain't no competition for me.
It's clear, even from this roast clip, that the two have deep respect for each other as artists. 50 Cent puts an arm around Kanye to let him know that, and Kanye responds with a huge grin on his face. This is the sort of healthy rivalry we need in the music industry, where artists push each other to do better and grow. Even today, fans continue to talk about the rivalry 50 Cent had with these rappers back in the day. It was a defining era for hip-hop, and fans chose sides and betted for their favorite artists. One Twitter user wrote, 50 Cent top 3 in hip-hop history when it comes to force. Actually top 2, him and Kanye. Everything they touch go. I'll lean more towards 50 because he had the whole G-Unit going platinum, a video game, etc. That's it for today, folks. Until next time, goodbye.